My name is Mustafa Koch, and I am a retired professor from Toronto Metropolitan University. And many people may not know I am one of the founders of Food Secure Canada.
Food Infrastructure Fund in 2019, a food policy establishment of a food policy advisory council.
This is my first time actually attending a Food Secure Canada convening. So it was magical, right? Like it's people who are actually doing the work that got to share their experiences. So there were, people from different walks of life, from a community farm, doing social programming, and they came here to share their experiences. So for me, that was powerful. I mean, it makes the work real, right? Like, it makes it feel real because you're actually talking to people who are actually doing that. So for me, that was particularly powerful, and I really appreciated that.
I think what's been so marvelous about this event is that there's been a lot of conversations I've been wanting to have, and having those conversations with the people who are the most knowledgeable or embedded or involved in those very issues has been really wonderful and exciting. I'm so happy to see this holistic understanding of what we're up against and what's happening, and it's something that I've been very aware of and very involved in for 40 years. And I feel a lot less lonely now. It's also very uplifting to see how many young people are on top of this, are seeing this, and are willing to put the time and energy into doing something about it. And I think that's the most important part of all of this, is what are we going to do about it?
I think there's a balance, because a lot of wisdom comes from years of experience in these fields, and that's obviously harder to get when you're a youth, but a younger generation historically brings is a fresh desire, and sometimes unbiased, or differently biased perspective on systemic issues.
To fight for a vision of a better future is just so much more empowering and sustaining. And I see that kind of energy and that kind of drive really being fueled by this gathering, and I am very happy to see that.
We are going through a time where we have to be honest with ourselves in terms of the issues that are troubling us, and it's not just not Canada, like just worldwide. This is part of a broader sort of global conversation, right? So there are people or groups or individuals that have been left behind for far too long, and this is the time for us to confront those inequities. We need to keep pushing and doing more, and part of conversations like this, they're really helpful in bringing people together.
That was earth-shaking for me to see what happened to a closed permit migrant worker, and then next to the NFU president whose farm is trying to do better in real life, as well as fighting for the issue next to an Indigenous farmer. I mean, that was just profound. That is something I've never seen to that degree of effective inclusion, but also really having a forward momentum coming out of the conversation. That's what has been so inspiring by all of us, is the illumination, which then creates actual pathways and strategies and possibilities and connections. And the connections being made in between the formal program, and you guys making enough space for that, like significant space for that, has also been really profound. Like, I've made some really super powerful connections here that I've been wanting to make or hoped to make. Yeah, it's definitely more than I anticipated, and I'm very pleasantly surprised and pleased by that.
It's bringing back a lot of thoughts for me as someone who entered this work in part through Food Secure Canada's Eat, Think, Vote campaign and their initiatives there. So it's been really a full circle moment for me to be able to participate here in this convening, knowing that I really entered this space through an event organized by Food Secure Canada.
I'm quite excited and concerned. My concern is that it's more about global and more about financial consideration. Organizations such as Food Secure Canada require a lot of funding, without funding, we cannot achieve what we dream to achieve.